That's nice.
All right.
He does. He's a professional.
Are you gonna go to the 6, or you like your 5?
The camera?
Yeah.
I think, well, this is a crop sensor camera. So the bigger ones have the full frame, like the 5D and all that stuff. So for video, it helps to have the more expensive one, because then the lenses are easier to use.
Are you gonna?
Because with this lens, this is a 50 millimeter, but because of the crop sensor, it really acts as an 80 millimeter.
Oh.
Because it's a 1.6
Because it crops
crop.
it,
Yeah. So, but also on the large sensor ones, you have more features, so you can adjust the color temperature. Because like these lights all have color temperatures, but on the lower end cameras, there's only a few presets for how to interpret the light. But on the bigger ones,
So you can actually do it yourself.
yeah, you can just plug in whatever Kelvin you want to use.
Oh, yeah,
So even if these are at like 32,
yeah, you just and you
can
take it
put
off.
Yeah.
That's some fancy stuff.
I don't know anything.
No, but actually this is a J-rig. You talk about it because it's true. There's a light, even though this is a LED light, it still creates heat. So you have heat radiation. I mean, it's kind of coming towards me.
Yes.
So at some level, I'm warming up.
Yes.
You know, and that's really what he's saying is you have all those.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the way those cameras work, and those electron cameras, I think a lot of it has to do with some kind of a light sensor type of thing. So for them, heat source are an issue. You need to control them and so on. No, I never thought about that.
That just reminded me when you were saying about coming back to the 6 months later, and you.
Yeah.
It reminded me about what people say about writing a lot, for
Something?
writing scripts and stuff. So some people say they work on it for the whole day. They have a scene or they have a problem, and then they go to sleep. And then your subconscious works at it when you sleep, and then in the morning they put it at ease.
And it's like,
and they just remember.
Well, that is true. I mean, but sometimes one of the things that I like about also when you put it up, when you get off of it, if there is a mistake, your brain can unlock the mistake. I mean, one of the things that we make as mathematicians, and students don't consider, you write something down. Usually what you write, you want to be correct. Nobody wants to be wrong. So when you write something, it's because your brain thinks that that's the right thing to write. So you make a kind of a stupid mistake, because people do that, like 2 + 3 = 5. That happens. But the reason you write that is because at the time your brain liked it. So if 5 seconds later you come back to it, your brain still likes it. Like, you know. So you write it and you never see that there's an error. However, you leave it there, you go to sleep, you come back the next day, now your brain is unlocked on that one, I mean totally different. It says 2 = 5, you say, whoa, this is not acceptable. Do you understand? It's because now you kind of have to refresh, and it's one of those refresh, wipe out the memory and go back, you know, because that happens all the time. You know, where you make a mistake and you look at it again and again, it looks good, you know, because that's where, you know.
One of the things I loved about math was it's encouraged to go for a walk or take a nap. That's you can't be tired and do math. You have to.
That is absolutely true.
You have to be relaxed. Awake.
But you know, I don't know if it's relaxed. Maybe that's what it is. It's true that if you're tired, you're done. Because you got to make the complex argument. Now, for me, I know as I'm getting older, I'm going to be 59. I'm going to be 60 this year. It's clear that I lose it very quickly. But, like the gentleman said, I still solve most of my problem when I'm sleeping. Because actually I'm at
I've
ease.
done that a few times. But I'm not experienced enough to have had a lot.
No, for me, it's just because I think it's kind of funny. Later on, maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, I've not done that much research. I should have done a lot more. But the last couple of years, it's true, I'm thinking a lot more about math stuff and so on. And at night, it's kind of funny. You know, some of the stuff that I kind of solve or see better is because at night, the brain, for whatever reason, still, you know, and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, yeah, that was pretty good, yeah. Yeah, of course, you need to get it.
I also was just reading about writing, and someone was saying that it's best to write, because everybody has different processes of writing, but he was saying it's best for him to write as soon as he wakes up, because for a few minutes after you've been dreaming, you're not really aware that you're a person, like you just forget that you're a person.
So for him, he has no inhibition, and he just puts, that's kind of true.
I notice, like, sometimes when I drink, the next morning I wake up, I am at my most authentic when you wake up.
But that's what he just said.
Yeah. I mean, just
No, it's true.
reiterating what he said.
No, the only thing when I drink, I'm just messed up. That's a different story. So, no, but I used to.
Do you know John Conway?
Well, there's a John Conway who wrote a complex analysis book. Are you talking about this John Conway?
I think I'm talking about the Game of Life, the English mathematician.
Oh yeah, that's another John Conway. He's a famous mathematician. I've heard of him.
I know he did some stuff with algebra.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was his focus.
he's a famous guy.
Somebody interviewed him, and they asked him why he went into math, and his response was, "Because I hate working."
Well, that's true, but for me, I think that's a facile response, because that's a response. You could have said, "Why did you go into writing?" It's basically, I think what he's saying is this, because I kind of feel like this a little bit by teaching and so on. I do have an advantage. I mean, even though I didn't do super well in my career and so on, but I enjoy what I do. And for me, I also enjoy the Morgan vibes. And so I like the faculty that I have. So for me, when I go to work, it's a pleasant thing. Did you understand?
Yes. Yep.
And that makes life a lot easier. A lot of people spend their whole working life because they have to get a job, because you have to put food on the table and so on, and you hate your job. And that's tough. So I think what happened when he says that, I think for him it's probably math is fun, and basically he gets to, his work is doing fun stuff. And it is true when you say that, you kind of, hey. But I've read writers that say exactly the same thing. Why did you become a writer? Because I hate working. Because for them it's not work. Did you understand? And I think that's why it comes in. So that's why it's not just, I mean, at some level he's blessed. What he's saying is, he's doing, and he's good at it, something that he loves to do. And I'm telling you, this is precious. I mean, okay, you say I've been teaching for 36 years. It's something I've told my daughters. I've got 2 daughters. The last one was 23, just graduated college from Temple. But what I found out is, guys, when you go to college, do a subject that you like at the end of the day. God, there's nothing harder than to have to take classes that you have no interest in, that you hate, just for quote unquote a certain diploma that maybe it's going to make you money or whatever. But I think that's a rough way to go.
That's why I did engineering.
Yeah.
And I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
I learned some cool things in engineering, but I still like it, but I think I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, for
I
me,
don't want to be an engineer.
for me, I didn't know, so I was very quickly, I knew it wasn't for me. But no, you need, because like I said, I'm teaching usually teach a calculus sequence, now I'm teaching the 3, and I've got those kids that clearly have no interest in that math, But exactly, it's cool to, you're going to get a good job if you're an engineer. You're going to, And I look at them and I feel sorry for them, because it's true that, they have to listen to me talking about some derivatives. I mean, when I say me, it could be anybody else, but that cannot be fun. Because if this is a struggle, if taking a derivative is a struggle, and you're in Cal 3, well, a guy like me, Rodney Kirby, would assume that you're supposed to know it. And I'm not going to give you a break for that one. Okay, you don't come to my Cal 3 class and act like, must be hell.
Mm-hmm. I want to say something specific about math and writing.
Sure.
Is that it's a very bare and fundamental profession. Meaning all you really need is your brain, a notebook,
That's right.
or a typewriter, computer. That's all you need. You don't need lab equipment.
No.
You don't really need to network.
No, you don't need to network. Some people work by
To a
themselves
little bit.
because you don't need to. It's good to collaborate, but you don't have to.
Yes, you
So
can do everything by yourself in your bedroom.
That's right. Absolutely. So Mr. Diaz, you asked a very good question. That's also one of the reasons why mathematicians in any setting, like even a university setting, are misunderstood by the other scientists. Because for the other scientists, they need a lab. They need, they need some support to do their work. There's always you need a better computer because you actually use the computer to solve certain things. You need the computer to kind of more, use it as a kind of typewriter type of thing. So you're right. And that's why we misunderstood because of that. Because it's true. I mean, for us, it's like just writing. Now, Here's the other issue. How good of a writer do you have to be in a sense a good mathematician? Because there's no doubt that you have to also have the ability to express yourself in whatever the language is. I'm not very good at it, I know, so that's actually always been a weakness of mine. Now my wife, who is also a lawyer, and she's really good in English, I mean but for her it's easier to write the mathematics because it kind of flows. And that's a serious advantage, when you can express what you want to say very clearly.
Yes.
In whatever your language is. I'm not making an argument on, it doesn't have to be English, it has to be whatever it is. And it is true, because I can see in some of the old French master, the old French master in mathematics, 1800, the Gauchis, the whatever, Lebesgue also, some of the writing.
What was that? Bourbaki?
Bourbaki. But Bourbaki is a fake name, you know that.
It's a group.
It's a group, exactly.
But I forget what that word means, Bourbaki.
Oh, it's just a name. It would be like Diaz. It could have been Diaz. It's just a name. They took a name, yeah. And different people have gone through here.
I saw a documentary that said the biggest contribution of the Bourbaki was the distinction between the circle and the disc. Because they emphasized
the boundary, the non-boundaries of it is.
Yeah, they emphasized the smallest details of math, made it very rigorous.
That's what some people see. That's the objection that some people have. Some people think that the Bourbaki school exactly was too rigorous, too French really. It's true. For me, it's kind of funny. I learned Bourbaki in grad school when I was actually working on my PhD, and actually fell in love with it. Now, probably it makes sense because that's the way I was taught in high school. So maybe it's more my sensibility type of thing. Because we had to be precise, even very young. Because I could actually construct a proof by the time I was in 10th grade. I really could do basic proofs. I kind of had an idea. I think Bourbaki is fantastic, but it is true that, like you said, Bourbaki would, make that difference. And one has a boundary, one doesn't have a boundary, one is the interior. Whatever it is, whatever the difference is, I don't even know what it is. And sometimes it's so abstract that you don't quite see anything. But it is true that the exposition of Bourbaki, I think, is beautiful.